Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, Education Minister says most schools are ready for September 2 reopening. The Ministry of Education says all is in place for the new academic year to begin next Monday, September 2, despite the damage to a number of schools following Hurricane Beryl. Speaking at a press briefing on Monday, Minister Favour Williams disclosed that most of the island's 1,009 schools will be ready for the new school year, with 902 of them able to reopen normally. She said the authorities have been making progress in repairing the 107 schools severely damaged during the hurricane.
902 of those we know for sure can open normally. For the ones that are in priority 1 that would have gotten their roofs damaged, that's 107, and we have been monitoring the progress there. As of Friday, I think we're confident on about, I would say, 90 of those, given where the work is. And for those for which we are seeing there might be delay, we're asking our principals to help us with a contingency plan. So a contingency plan could include temporary tent, could include using a church hall across the street, and we've seen at least 2 of those situations.
She said the ministry has been working closely with the Jamaica Public Service Company to ensure power is restored to schools across the island. Meanwhile, Mrs. Williams admitted the ministry is expecting more resignations from teachers ahead of the new academic year, which starts next week. But she said the Education Ministry is not expecting a major exodus this year compared with previous years.
I don't have the overall figure yet because I guess the resignations would just be coming to us either at the region or here at Central Ministry. Anecdotally, when I speak with principals, I don't see the same level of anxiety that we saw in past years. And when I ask them about their figures, yes, they may see 1, 2, or 3, but not at the level they experienced, let's say, in 2022 or even in 2023. So I'm encouraged. I know that there are teachers who have already expressed a desire to leave the system, and I'm sure we'll get more.
Back to school expenses on the rise. As the start of the new school year inches closer, parents and the guardians are reportedly feeling the burden of related expenditures. This comes as a result of the global cost of living crisis trickling down, as well as the impact of Hurricane Beryl. President of the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica, Stuart Jacobs, contends that parents will have to pay 25% more to supplement their back-to-school spending. He said on Monday that while most schools have provided flexible payment plans, parents and the guardians must be proactive and make sacrifices where necessary. Mr. Jacobs said while the program of advancement through health and education has assisted with offsetting the financial burden, government subsidies should be wider in scope. He contends that the current situation has dealt a double blow to teachers who are also parents. The NPTAJ president revealed that the cost of returning to school for the new academic year is from $30,000 for primary school students to $50,000 for those at the secondary level.
Let's go back to the basics. I ask that parents just give up something that they would normally take for themselves and ensure that it is channeled towards the betterment of the child. So instead of going to the barbers or the hairdressers or to go to a party and that you have to get a new outfit for this period, just curtail it, just avoid doing it. And you'd never believe it that it minimizes that stress that you would have. And as Dennis John says earlier, if you do the same thing last week and get a result, and you do the same thing this week and you expect the same result, you expect a different result, then you're fooling yourself. So whatever it is that you normally do that will put you in a spot, and you move away from it. One other thing that we need to be cognizant of, parents is that there is always that way of going on a saving plan from this year for next year.
22-year-old man charged for allegedly chopping woman with a machete. 22-year-old Rashawn Smith has been charged after he allegedly attacked and robbed a woman at the intersection of Lockett Avenue and Kensington Avenue in Kingston. The Kingston resident is charged with robbery with aggravation and wounding with intent. The Kingston Central Police say about 7:30 a.m., Smith used a machete to chop a woman on her left hand, causing it to bleed. He then robbed her of a bag she was carrying. A report was made to the police and an operation conducted at a premises where Smith was found, arrested and subsequently charged. A court date is currently being arranged. 16-year-old boy and 2 others arrested following gun seizure. The Spanish Town Police have arrested 3 people, including a 16-year-old boy, in connection with the seizure of an illegal gun along the Spanish Town bypass on Sunday. The 3 suspects are from corporate area addresses. The police say about 1 a.m., a team carried out an intelligence-driven operation in the vicinity of Food for the Poor when a Nissan Tina with 3 men aboard was signaled to stop and the driver complied. The vehicle was taken to the Spanish Town Police Station where a search was conducted, during which a 9mm pistol affixed with a magazine containing 17 rounds of ammunition was allegedly discovered. The 3 men were arrested on suspicion of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition. 19-year-old charged for fatal Studio One Boulevard shooting. Detectives in the St. Andrews Central Police Division have charged a 19-year-old man in connection with a fatal gun attack along Studio One Boulevard earlier this month. He is Jamar James, who is charged with murder, possession of prohibited weapon, malicious destruction of property, and 3 counts of wounding with intent. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that at about 4 p.m., Martin Duncan, the now deceased, and several others were standing along the roadway when James, armed with a firearm, walked up and opened gunfire at them before fleeing the scene. The police were summoned and on their arrival, a man was seen running along Lincoln Avenue and was instructed to stop, according to the police. The man reportedly brandished a firearm and challenged the police, and the lawmen took evasive action. When the shooting subsided, the man was found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was assisted to hospital where he was treated and admitted under police guard. He was subsequently charged on Sunday, August 25. His court date is being finalized. JCF calls on public to look out for children traveling alone. As the new school year is set to begin in early September, the Jamaica Constabulary Force is urging the public to look out for children who are traveling alone. Head of the JCF's social media team, Sergeant Kayla Keane, noted that there are various reasons why children travel alone, and adults should play their part by being good citizens and observe any unusual behaviors when they see them. It is important for persons not to neglect nonverbal cues from children when they are traveling alone. Sometimes you can see a child traveling alone, and based on their behavior, it can indicate to you that something is simply not right with them, Sergeant Keane said. I have seen a child just wandering about looking dirty after school, and I said, "What's wrong? Where are you going?" And the child was actually lost, so because I paid attention to the nonverbal cues, I was able to redirect the child in the direction that they should go so that they could make their way home, Sergeant Keane said. In addition, she noted that misconceptions about children who travel alone can pose a challenge to their safety. Don't make assumptions that based on the child's age, the child is mature. Age and maturity are not always congruent. Sometimes you have an older child who still has difficulties traveling alone, while I have seen some younger children who seem very knowledgeable about what they're doing, and they are finding their way with those challenges, Sergeant Keane said. At all times, we should always look out for children. If you see them traveling alone and you can assist in any way, please don't be afraid to help, but the nonverbal cue is very important because some children are shy, so they won't come to you and tell you about the problem that they are having, she added. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.